What is an Institute for Jazz and Gender Justice?
It's just a way to bring attention to this really big problem of gender parity in jazz, and also just in the music industry in general. But my focus is jazz because that's my background and that's basically where I make my living, and what I teach. But it started off with just meeting with some students, some women students, that told me some stories that were just kind of shocking because I didn't grow up with the same kind of experience they did. It really opened my eyes to seeing that these issues really needed to be addressed at our institution, but just in the field in general. And just because I had a very exceptional career and childhood and was protected and kind of ushered into the jazz world by my father and other greats, I had a responsibility now to really look at the issue from without of my own perspective and try to, bring others along with me and to point out to my colleagues and comrades in the jazz world and mentors even, that something is terribly wrong.
There are clearly these issues relating to gender and jazz. What are the ways in which you address it? Are there different kind of focus areas or pockets or ways that you tackle it?
Well, the first way is just providing a safe, nurturing place for not just young women, but people from the entire gender spectrum to be able to learn the music. That's like the first thing, because there are transgender students that I didn't know were at Berklee that have found us, and a lot of young women that always feel this barrier, even in a classroom or in an ensemble, they don't feel as supported and nurtured. So even the young men that are in our program, because it's not just for women, but since these young men have gravitated to this program, the young women feel supported by them and not judged and not like they're being given opportunity just because they're women. They feel like they really have an environment to buckle down and try to learn this music, which is hard enough in itself. And we also have a lot of guest artists to come in and give them, lessons and lead ensembles, do composition work, private lessons. They come for a few days at a time. So I think that within a semester we might have 6 or 7 guest artists, which are great opportunities for the students, to learn directly from these masterful musicians.
What would you like to see different in the field, say 10 years from now, that you would have been instrumental in helping to bring about?
It seems to me that people just say that they didn't realize that this problem existed, and it seems odd, but I can relate to it because I didn't as well for so long, and I'm in it. So I think that just this awareness of, oh, right, there is something wrong with it. None of the music that we play, none of the composers are women, none of the jazz standards are written by women. Most of the band leaders aren't. So you have patrons, presenters, radio journalists, all people that are coming now more to a consciousness around this issue. And I see it changing, so I'm extremely hopeful. But in 10 years' time, it would be great to see, more gender equality in our field, and not just in the performers, but also, with education, with teachers, with journalists, with scholars. So that's kind of, my goal in 10 years is to have helped contribute to that kind of equality.
So you touched a little on, you've had this extraordinary opportunity and really was able to come into jazz early and have had just such an extraordinary career. When did you kind of realize this is my thing, right? Was there a moment that kind of happened for you?
No, I always felt ownership in the music. And that's the first thing that I try to relate to our students, that this is your music. You have the right to be here. You have the right to play it. And it was hard for me at first to relate to people that didn't feel that way because I've always felt that. But just to, kind of stand in your own authenticity, inside of the music is not easy for a lot of people. And also, I think so many of, so much of what we come to expect from a jazz musician is steeped in masculinity. So we have not fully accepted the feminine aesthetic, in the music. So I think that everybody has to start to listen differently. And even myself, I've had to start to listen differently and also look at my own playing because I've always compared it to every other guy out there. So I had to be just as strong and just as in touch with my own masculinity to be competitive with them. And so now it's like a whole different way of thinking. It's transformational, really.